She went to her mom's house and her mom said, "Come here, baby." Literally, tears. Big tears.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Jane B, aka the CommonSenseDiva, and I have joined some phenomenal ladies with me just to continue the conversation that we started about this season 4 of Insecure, episode 6, Low Key Done. So I just want to introduce you guys to my fabulous guest here. First we have Tamika Rochester. She's from Harlem Cycle. She's doing her thing. She got it going on. Yes, she's the founder. Yes. And then we have Miss Cherise Fisher. She is Scribe's Window. She is just writing books. She's managing books. She's managing writers. She's managing authors. She's doing her thing. That's Cherise Fisher. Could you wave to the people, girl? And then we have the lovely Miss Tanya Ami. She is a celebrity fashion stylist. She's done so many different people. She all around the world swirling, making sure everybody looks good. And y'all know it's me, your girl Jay-Z. So that's it for introductions. Now let's get into the conversation. So hey ladies. Hey. So I just wanted to talk about last night's episode. I'm really opening the floor. Maybe I'll guide it just a little bit, but I just wanted to know, what was your overall thoughts about this season and in particular this episode? So just jump right in.
Yeah, I thought it was a great episode. It showed a lot of growth from Issa, just the fact that, she was having a hard time. She knew that, she wanted to talk to Molly, but she knew that this wasn't her time to reach out. She stayed calm, relaxed, thought about her feelings instead of jumping off and calling her and cussing her out or doing anything crazy, which is completely the opposite of what Molly did last episode. Right. But, and it's growth because instead of calling Nathan or any other random guy, she went to her mom.
I love that. I love that.
She went and found wisdom. So she didn't jump into some random bed. She didn't do anything. She went to her mama's house.
Right.
I just felt it was such a good episode, and I got so emotional watching it. Like when she went to her mom's house and her mom said, "Come here, baby." Literally, tears. Big tears came into my eyes.
That part got me too.
It don't matter how grown you are. Your mama is your mama. Exactly. And she's not telling her mother what's wrong, but her mother had that instinct, something's wrong with my child. And when she hugged her, and that hug, I was like, that's the mama hug. That was like, you know how a young man Fix My Life, she'd be hugging them?
Yes.
Talks about the mama hug. Yeah. That was the mama hug. And so, I don't even think that she, it's interesting. I agree with you, Tamika, that she was, absolutely growth, but I also saw that she was heartbroken. She couldn't actually call her. She couldn't do anything. Right. Her heart was broken. And I was just like, Molly, you ain't nothing. Jane already knows how I feel about Molly.
I want to give my opinion.
But you know what I loved about that scene too is it showed that sometimes you just need a hug to have that breakdown. Sometimes you be trying to fight through so many things, and sometimes it could definitely be your mother, but sometimes it don't even have to be your mother. Sometimes somebody could just be like, that second what's wrong, or that hug will bring out everything.
Right.
And you just break situations like that where someone just give you that hug and it just, everything just out. And then sometimes you're trying to verbalize what's going on, and it's like, and you can't even verbalize it, but it's just pouring out.
No, absolutely. Now, the scene that broke me though wasn't the hug or when she was crying. It was the last scene when she goes to her favorite Ethiopian restaurant. Right. She's been thinking about it all day. She's going for her comfort food, and there go Molly.
Right.
On her phone too. The phone is pushing me over the edge.
Me too.
All day she's been wondering why her friend hasn't called her, why her friend hasn't texted her. She's been thinking about it, and there's her friend all idle on the phone,
she's talking to somebody, but she's not talking to me.
Right.
But you know what I got from it? She's
talking to somebody. That's the point.
Right. What I think I got from that particular scene that you guys are talking about was that could be subliminal for Molly as well. Because remember, that was the restaurant from season 1, episode 1, and that could be like the meeting place. You know, so I looked at it like, even though Molly was there, that could be low key. Oh, I wonder if Issa's gonna show up. You know, because that could be like, I don't want to be the first one, but if we just happen to meet at the same place, then we could talk about it. That's kind of like what I thought about that.
Because I didn't even put the 2 and 2 together. Didn't recognize that was the restaurant that they was there, that they had been to that restaurant before, like on the show. I'm like, sure, and like whatever. Yeah. Okay.
But see, because I think Molly's so inconsiderate, I would never. No, I think she went to get the
I really feel like Molly was just in her own world, and she was and like, yeah, I'm living my best life. I got my boo. I got this. Screw Issa, and yeah.
That's what I got from it. That Molly's going to the place she likes to eat, and they had that in common.
That's how I took it too.
Y'all ain't giving Molly no breaks. Molly don't get
none.
No breaks for Molly.
Of course, I have the unpopular opinion with that because I just want to throw this out there with you guys. This episode, it seemed really like slow because we're used to all the other stuff. But I think this show was full of metaphors. I think the pregnant girl was a metaphor. George was a metaphor. And then her mother was a metaphor. Like it was all like showing where it was like they were all reflections of where Issa was dealing with and what she was going through. Did you guys see it that way?
I did, especially with the fact that like it was the first scene of her in the bedroom, like it was plaguing her that she called her selfish, and she's in her head like, where am I selfish? Trying to figure out, am I selfish? So that's why she kept trying to do all these unselfish acts, but they kept smacking her in the face, showing you like not everybody is genuine, and not every like, and it can also make it seem at the end of her saying, I tried, and when I tried, people slapped me in the face. That could have been her past, even though it's like they're showing it present, but maybe that's the reason why it may seem that she's moving selfishly, because maybe in the past when she have extended herself, it was a smack in the face. Like, how dare you, lady? I'm trying to buy food for you and your baby, and then you gave me a gift on perspective. Like, girl, bye. Like, I was trying to help you. And George was crazy.
Listen, I laughed out loud with you. I could not stop laughing. That was hilarious.
He was like, whoa, you gotta wait. Like, what the heck? When you thought the car was crashing, I had to pause. I was crying laughing. I thought that car was crashing.
So this episode, they replaced like Kelly with George for the comic relief. Like I got all the comic relief from George's side, and Kelly was actually serious this episode. But I'm like, George took me out, and it was just exactly what you would expect. Sometimes giving people help and how they push back, like you owe them something.
Very entitled. Take me to the bathroom. Take me to the store. Blah, blah,
blah.
Don't pee in my car.
I know that's right. No, but when he came out of there with that fun dip, do y'all remember that candy from kids from being younger?
Yes!
I remember that.
Fun dip. And you got the stick.
Not the sugar.
Yeah, I remember.
My bad. That was my time.
Oh no, they absolutely still have it out.
They do.
I'm
about to go give me a fun dip.
But guys, check this out though. Check this out. So that what I got from the George situation, because if you notice at the end, George went and found his child or whatever like that, right? But see, everything to me was a metaphor, every little thing. And so what I got from that is like, even though George is getting on your nerves, you want to slap him, he's inconsiderate, but at the end, he was actually doing something good, because that represents like everybody in Issa's life. It represents Issa. It's like, just because, listen, we all wanted to kick George out the car. Come on, get out.
Yes.
But he was actually doing something
so many times. So many times I said, leave George. Pull over, put George out.
But George is going to see his son, and I don't know if that was the first time he saw him or...
It sounds like
because the son looked pretty surprised that his father showed. up.
Okay, so you think that, and that son looked kind of young. George was a little old. I was like,
yeah, because he probably one of them children that he had, they was never in their life, and then he like, you know what, I'm gonna go find my son now. Like, that's what it seemed like. Like, he ain't never been around.
But see, you're right, it is such a metaphor for Issa's life. Like, she helps people as they're struggling. No thank yous, no nothing. It's same with Lawrence. You see how there was no thank you for all the struggle of that struggle.
Right. Good point.
They get to the end and they're looking like the hero. Like, George is the hero because he showed up and spending time with his kids, but he gave Issa hell on that little drive. Hell about the air conditioning, hell about the heat, hell about everything. And suddenly now he's the hero at the end. I feel like that was the same in Molly's relationship. She put up with all that, all the passive aggression from Molly. Molly always talking bad about her relationships. And now that she's finally finding some stability with Andrew, it's like, okay, Issa, I'm just going to go off on you because I'm stable right now.
Right now. That's it. That part right there. Right now.
Right now.
Because how many times have you been a hot mess when you messing with our friends' husband and this, that, and the third?
You already
right. So I'm saying, like, you have been a hot mess too. So don't judge me by my past and get on your high horse and, I'm so arrived now, and then want to, kick me while I'm down, or while I'm climbing, you're basically kicking my hands off the rock while I'm trying to climb up.
Right. Yeah. But not, like, ladies, like, to me, I feel like their relationship is really a reflection of all, like, we've all had these friends who cannot forget our past, who just will not let us forget. Like, it's great to have that person in your life that knows you well, but, like, when I've grown and I've evolved, like, let it go.
They don't see it. They want to bring it back up. They want to keep telling you about it.
Well, I heard.
I was going to say, and that's when the relationship actually becomes toxic. Right. Because you're so attached to a story that was written about me, and you're not ready to write a new story with me. Right. So you just continue to hurt me. Right. And the relationship is toxic. Look, I'm finished with Molly and Issa. I'm fine that she's moving on. Yeah. I mean, I was like, I was pissed at those women who used her like that. Oh my God.
I was praying that her hitting her over the head with the paint
painting
was real.
I thought it was.
I was hoping that was real. I was so mad when it was just a thought. I was like, hit her.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that's crazy to me. Like, this show, obviously I'm a book editor, so I'm looking at the structure of it. Like, whoever is in that writing room is some kind of crazy but genius. Like, in those scenes with the pregnant woman and the twist of the fact that her car don't go through. I mean, I was trying to figure out, well, what did she buy that would be $100-something?
Right, because Issa only bought one.
9. She might have had some formula, because my formula when I had kids, when my babies were little, was $125. So maybe that's what she was doing. I don't know.
But the baby wasn't here yet. That's what I was thinking about.
What'd you say?
I said, but the baby wasn't even here yet. That's what I was thinking about. Because I feel like I saw Huggies, but I'm like, but the baby's not here.
One at home, or I mean, you don't wait till the baby's born to buy diapers.
That is true. Yeah. Okay. That's true.
Right.
For pre-planning, I would be the one as soon as the baby gives. Oh my God, I go get diapers.
Yeah. But what did you guys?
Good writing, very, very good writing on this episode. I thought Lisa so actually carried the whole episode.
Yeah.
She had a lot of emotional range in her face and in her mannerisms.
Yes.
That was like, I was like, okay, what we trying to do, an Emmy? Like, what we trying to do?
Okay.
Yes. I did think that too, that her acting, she stepped it up much more in this episode. I do agree with that. I saw more range.
More range, yeah. You know who gave me range too was Kelly. I was like, Kelly is being serious. She's being a compassionate friend. Right. She's like, I mean, you still got the little scene where the baby's looking down her chest.
Right.
That's natural Kelly. But like, these past 4 seasons, I've been like, can Kelly give us something else? Like, other than the friend who's just sleeping around and just making jokes, like some emotions. And this time, like, even Kelly had the emotion. Like, you saw her, like, the compassion that came through from her and how she just wants everybody to be united with no jokes, like all seriousness in that conversation. I was like, okay, I see, like, this is real life. Y'all real life in it today.
Yeah. What I picked up I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but Kelly said, "Oh, you're ignoring me like my biological father." Did y'all hear when Kelly said
yes.
that? And I was like, because up until now, we don't really know much about Kelly's personal life.
We don't. That's what I would love for them to do.
Kelly.
Yeah.
We really don't know
would love for them to do that.
Yes.
And I hope, if you listening, I hope even the next season, like, can we get some depth to Kelly? Like, we don't need the chubby black woman sidekick that's just like animated. She needs some depth. Give us some depth.
I was just saying that to Jane last week, how I don't like when they always have to put the big girl as the comic relief or the one who's a hot mess and all over the place. And like, she's just like, come on. Big girls are way more than that. Like, you got big girl CEOs, you got big girl, like, don't do that. Like, I don't like that when they give larger women that narrative that she got to be the joke. She got to always be single. Don't have a husband, don't have a man. She's just all over the place. She's just promiscuous. Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, Issa is promiscuous all over the place and a hot mess and skinny as hell.
No, that's true. But a lot of times the narrative with the bigger girl and like a lot of shows, that's the role.
Well, that's also the role for black women in a lot of
Exactly.
So, yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So then when
you see like two serious moments with Kelly at the baby shower when they wouldn't take her cupcakes and she didn't even allow her to plan it. Like that to me, I really felt that, and I was like, because I'm not a mother, I couldn't plan your baby shower. Like that was an intense scene for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy how like those things unfold in life, where like when you start having kids and how like you start looking at your friends different because they don't have kids. Like that was a real touching moment. And then the conversation on the phone about like and she mentioned how they had that moment and they had to work through it too. So they're not the first set of friends that have, had moments where they've just not communicated and they've been back and forth, and which was really great to see that connection. It's just so great to see like Kelly as the mature friend in this situation.
Right. And that could be the turning point. That could be like the shift now that we see with Kelly, because now it's like this situation is bringing out a whole different side of her. So I think that's good too. But wait, I just wanted to know real quick, guys. Let's talk about Nathan. Like, where does he fit in with this whole thing? What were your thoughts? Tell me.
Every episode, Nathan, I was like, oh, Nathan, I just love to hear your voice. You in there cutting purple hair. Wasn't the hair purple?
Yes! The little voice hair.
I was like, come through, Nathan.
I didn't even know he had a job.
But he's in the barber. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When I see him, I was like, okay, Nathan got a job. Because the last time he was just in the Uber. That's what I remember.
Right.
I put him up in the Uber.
Yeah.
But see, I love that he called to check on her the next day. He called to make sure that she wasn't in her feelings about what happened and that she was taking a moment to herself to kind of acknowledge how great the event was. Like, I love that he cared enough to like extend himself, because we all know he's had communication issues.
Yeah.
I know. But at least now you're seeing effort and he's trying. Like, you're seeing him grow too as a person.
Yeah.
We might see an evolved relationship.
Yes, and listen, I'm here for all that cuteness.
Nice.
And I thought it was interesting that she asked him, did you feel like I used you?
Right.
And he said, no, I wanted to help and I did. And I was like, where am Molly now?
Exactly. Because it's all about perspective.
I'm mad.
Right.
And it was like, it was not a big deal. Nathan was like, I saw you and you needed the help. I was happy to do it. The only person who had an issue was your so-called friend.
Your so-called friend that it doesn't even need to be in the situation at all. Like, you knew Nathan knew Andrew. Like, she could take herself out of the equation, but she placed herself back in so she could have some feelings. Like, it was craziness.
It's true.
I do like the way Andrew is like, stepping up. And I guess too, because Andrew he knows what it is to have the mental health challenges and stuff like that. So he's just like, I'm not going to judge you. Wait, the way you judge me. Like, I'm not going to judge you, so I'm here for you. And I guess because you have more compassion when you have issues too.
Well, why does Andrew have issues?
You talking about Nathan?
Oh, sorry, child. cut, I meant Nathan.
Everybody was like, everybody's like, you seen the episode we ain't seen?
I'm getting names mixed up. Don't judge me.
Episode 6.
I meant Nathan, because remember Nathan was dealing with his mental health, you know. So I guess when you kind of have those challenges, you're a little more compassionate.
Yeah.
Next person. So that's why I think that's why he's extra compassionate with Issa. And of course he likes her, so.
But also part of it is history too. I also feel like when you're getting to know someone, you give them the benefit of the doubt. Like you automatically assume the best in them. But when you have years and years of history, you end up looking back at history versus what's happening right now.
Yes.
So, okay, in the past, Issa may have been inconsiderate and she may have done this, but right now she wasn't. And so that's where Molly's still in the past in their relationship.
Right.
But right now is what's happening. And so it's easier for Nate because he's right now with her and he's giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
And Molly's just like, Molly was bringing up stuff from like 50 years ago in her argument.
Right. Remember when we was in daycare?
You took my bottle.
You had took my bottle, like, girl.
Right.
But let me ask you guys, what do you think about the fact that we play roles? Like we have everybody in a role in our life. Like this friend is the single friend, this friend is the married friend, and sometimes I think it's hard for people to switch. You know, I think sometimes people have roles, you know, your friends have roles in your life. And I think one of Molly's and Issa's issue is that their roles are changing. And that's what the biggest thing. Because remember, Molly was always a single one. And Issa was the one in a relationship. And now the roles are reversed. And I that's what I think they can't handle. I think that's the crux of their issues. What do you think of that?
No, that's true. And sometimes, like you said, we lock each other in the roles that we're supposed to be playing. Like you're stepping out of bounds. Like this ain't your lane. This is not your role. Like sometimes people don't know how to take you out of the role that you're in. Like sometimes if you in the circle was the irresponsible one, was the one who was struggling and always trying to get, you know, like just basically trying to find your footing in life and growing up, especially if you've known each other for years through your adolescent years. Sometimes people, when you start growing and get into another place in another phase of your life, sometimes people can't see that because they still see you as that screw up. Yeah. So they try to keep you in that role that you were in 15, 20 years ago. Like, no, I've evolved. Can I be the evolved one? Not so. When I'm telling you about my new venture off that I'm doing, you don't compare it to my block party that I tried to do out of high school that failed. But I'm a person just graduating college and I'm trying to do a block party. I don't have to be that same person. So I think that's too, people, basically like we were saying, holding people to their past. And it's like, I think that is where the tug of war is coming, where the roles are changing, the roles are switching. And it's that power and it's that judgment. It's just so much stuff that's going on with them. They really need to go to like couples counseling because like,
or they could just let it go.
That is true.
Do you think they're at that place though? You really think that they're at that place to really let that friendship go?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Lisa's not playing.
I think part of it too is Molly herself suffers from imposter syndrome. She just got in a committed relationship, and now she's an expert on all relationships.
I can't stand people like that.
like she's trying to prove to everyone that she is like amazing at relationships. Like you remember
that's why it's so great that Andrew supports me at that. I was like, girl, what are you talking?
It's been 2 weeks.
And she was the expert in relationships to prove to everyone else that she was the expert. Meanwhile, Issa's coming out of a 5-year relationship. Tiffany's married, and Kelly don't care. So it was like, what are you trying to prove here? And I think that's what's like playing a role for her is so she's suffering from that imposter syndrome of not really knowing how to manage relationships and being, and feeling like like she knows what's going on, and she's just not honest with her friends about it. Like, so she's coming out and pretending like I have this perfect relationship with Andrew, instead of saying I'm scared, I don't know how to manage it, I'm not managing my emotions well, I'm not sure how to pull his emotions, like we're like figuring out together. So instead of admitting that, she's like, oh my God, he's so supportive, he's so this, because we work great together. And it's like, that's not what's really happening.
That's what I wanted to interject and say, because she's giving credit to herself and not understanding that your relationship wouldn't be as great as it is if it wasn't for Andrew. Andrew's understanding. Andrew is patient. Andrew is more stable emotionally than you are. Because if he was a hot mess like you, y'all would have been broke up already.
Right.
So I think keeping it afloat, not you.
He's really the grounding force in that. But I think because she's now like discovering that and not being honest with her true feelings and her insecurities about that, she's like trying to make it seem like she's just so grounded in it. But now that her role, like, so now that Issa's single and Issa's now becoming a businesswoman and creating this block party, she's still trying to make sure she has a footing in everything. Like, she's the super relationship person, and she's still this better business person than Issa because she's somehow being threatened. It's like such a mind-boggling thing, and that's why I say walk away from this toxic friendship.
No, you're right. And you know what? And the real truth is, for me, is like, if I have to work that hard, is it worth it to be your friend?
It's not. Friendship should not be hard.
It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, not where we're, until we need to step away and then come back together later, maybe.
Right.
I hope Condola comes back. I want Condola to come back.
Yeah, I like Condola.
Please tell me why. I need to know why you want her to come back.
Because I want her to be Issa's new friend.
Aww.
No,
I love her fashion moments.
The mom's part is messy.
I think she was embarrassed. I don't think she was mad at Issa. She was embarrassed. I was with this guy. I broke up with this guy. I'm embarrassed because nobody knows about this breakup, right? Because what's his name didn't tell his friend, all that stuff. I think she was embarrassed and didn't know how to handle it. It was awkward,
which is perfectly fine to be embarrassed.
But she did show up. She did show up.
But did she? She physically was there, but when she needed her,
did she show up?
Wait, I want to say something. I heard someone say, how you showing up to a block party with all white on, a fly hairdo, nice shoes?
She not working.
She not here to help.
She coming to say hi and shake hands and be like, I'm Consola. I'm the plug. I'm the reason why y'all here. At the end of the day, it's like this is still a client. This is still a work situation. Your personal situation shouldn't get involved in what's going on, where you stepping back. If I'm having a personal issue with the client, I can't just say, well, you ain't getting no dress for your red carpet because...
I'm gonna wrap everything up. I just want you guys to give me some predictions to where the rest of the season is going. And then we're gonna wrap it up because this was amazing. Just to hear your insight, just to chop it up about like what we feel about this, because even though this is a show and these characters are not real, this is real life, because these things happen in real life. I'm sure everyone has had a Molly Issa situation or something similar, or a boyfriend or man partnership relationship. So this is definitely a good thing for just us to come together and discuss it. So I just want to go around and you guys just give your predictions as to what you think is going to happen in the future. Go ahead, Shatanya, you start.
Okay. Well, I do think, even though I didn't watch the preview for the Molly situation, but I think like how we mentioned earlier, is I really feel like Molly's going to start to see things. We're going to get a deeper picture of to what Molly's feeling, what Molly's going through, and then to realize, okay, maybe situations wasn't so bad. Like, I feel like they're going to go through the fake friendships, the different situations, and then she's going to have so much time with Andrew, she's going to find out that it ain't as sweet as she thinks, and it's going to take more work for it to be perfect. And then I'm hoping, even though I'm not thinking that this is going to happen, but I'm hoping that they do get more in depth with the characters, like more into Kelly, more into Tiffany, more into everybody's story, like a bird's eye view of everyone's life or backstories. Because a lot of times we don't, especially even with Molly and Issa, we don't know what the backstory is that created them to be how they are.
Right.
So that part is what I hope happens.
Okay. Cherise?
My prediction is Tiffany is going to have a crisis with the baby because we already see that she has a little bit of postpartum happening. So there will be a crisis with Tiffany and the baby, which will force Issa and Molly to be in the same room and figure out how they're going to have a conversation. That's not going to happen next week. That's probably going to happen in the season finale or something.
I like that.
So I think Issa's going to end up with Nathan. Well, that's what I hope. Molly and Andrew will be doing their things, and because they are roommates, they're going to be forced into a room. Like that's the relationship.
I forgot about that dynamic.
I totally did too.
That's another thing.
I think that's the relationship.
Yes, and they're best friends and roommates.
Which will actually be a little bit better because you have two guys who have not invested in that friendship, being able to play referee in the situation.
Or it could cause a rift between the two guys.
Guys, I don't think take it like that.
I don't do that.
No, I'm saying because you know how sometimes us as females, which is not good, we can pin each other against each other, like you're dealing with him and he's dealing with her and she knows this and she knows that, even though like it may try to keep. I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you keep going, but it just got my wheels. So I'm like, oh yeah, that could happen.
But I do think Nathan and Andrew are too level-headed to let these women come in and mess up their friendship. Like, so they'll be forced together because those two, their dynamic is stronger and right now more stable. And so that will start a conversation, but their friendship will never go back to where it was.
No.
They'll just be acquaintances from this point.
Wow. Those are good predictions, guys. That was good insight. I totally forgot about the Andrew and Nathan connection. I didn't even think of it. That was good. And then I like the thing with Tiffany because they definitely have to touch on the Tiffany situation because Tiffany trying to leave baby Simone in the supermarket and we don't have time for that.
Well, you noticed that Kelly was at Tiffany's house taking
Yes.
care of the baby. Yeah, that's where she was.
I saw that. I noticed that. I was like,
you put your baby in Kelly's arms.
Right.
Hilarious.
And then I like what Tanya said, because I definitely see, like, you know, things are going to happen where they realize, you know, the grass is always greener. We're taking each other for granted. But you know what? You know, we really did have something. We just need to get ourselves together. You know what I'm saying? This relationship works. Sharice, I'm just saying.
It's a conversation because a lot of times, like even I've had situations where friendships they separate and it's just issues, and then sometimes you just really got to sit down and talk and really like hash it out and be like, well, this is how I perceive this, and that's how you perceived it, and this, you know, because it's all about perception and how it was perceived. Like, you know, everyone interprets things differently. So if it's worth it, it's worth having a conversation. If
but
it's
those
worth
friendships
it.
never go back to being the same.
No.
Not after you step to me like you're gonna hit me.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I had a big fight with a friend one time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a long version, there's a short version. We don't have time for my long version, but we were having a meal. I got mad and I threw money on the table and I walked out of the restaurant. And we didn't speak for like 2 or 3 years, you know. And I wouldn't say our relationship is the same. Like I have broken up with 2 friends, like just been like, no, this I need to set aside. And you're right, it's never the same again. No, it's never the same again. But in neither situation did I try to like bitch slap somebody.
That's true. No, it was really good. And this show, I just think evokes so much conversation because it's so real. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what makes this such a good show for me. And I agree with Sharice. The writing is superb. You know, how they think of these things, like how they thought of Kelly having a British accent last week.
That was hilarious.
A laugh out loud moment. Guys, so thank you so much, guys. Again, this is Jane B, aka the Common Sense Diva, with my lovely ladies, giving our perspective and our opinions on this week's episode of Low Key Done. And until the next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.